I was 6 the day James Baldwin died, and 15 in '96 when Tupac's mother cried. Turned 20 in 2001 when Bush lied, and today in a world where black lives don't matter, I'm pushing 35.
But I digress and rewind as I position my birth against and alongside several prominent figures and events across time.
Thus, cataloging and commenting on the context each text provides, until I reach back and find the jewels popular history far too often alive. And then I'm done. The year was 1981, but before I cause your delicate sensibilities completely run amiss, follow me as the timeline shifts to 1862, 3 years before the Civil War was over, 4 years overdue, which was only 121 years before I turned 2. Yep, that's the year Ida B. Wells Barnett was born. Born to rebel and fight for those caught in the net the Jim Crow set, or should I say noose, highlighting the contradictions left over after the North and South called their truce. Only to let loose new forms of discrimination, hatred, and abuse. So, what if payback wasn't a payment? And America's history wasn't just foul, but a flagrant. And our genius, well-established in greatness, not new, novel, or nascent. And what if I told you we were capable of more than just trying to educate our local neighborhood racists? And what if Black History Month covered more than just the basics? Reruns of your favorite male-dominated faces, holding hands, singing Amazing Graces. Nah, there are far too many hidden figures in our basements, like them sisters at NASA, face it. Black girl magic has always been an understatement. But while Black resilience is more blatant, centuries of cultural assimilation leave folk determined to overstate myths. We weren't all kings and queens. It's fun to reminisce and push back. There's no need. We have a rich history and heritage without leaning on problematic hierarchies like these. Likewise, I'm not sure how useful it is to be preoccupied with the exceptionals on anybody's list, be it tragic sorrows or accomplished intellectuals. What we miss is the everyday, or quotidian in which we live. Let's look to the masses for the classics and avoid being classist or simply limiting the avenues for our advancements. Instead of a month, we need a parade, cultural centers, and to stop getting played. They invaded more than just our privacy, frightfully. Ask John Henry Clark, even blind he could see, with all intended irony, back to the days of African primacy, like the Aksum, Mali, and Songhai dynasty. Before the diasporic fracture and intraracial divisions that were manufactured between those enslaved Africans that were dropped off in the Americas and those dropped off in the Caribbean. Our perspective, pride, and serenity is informed on how far back we go. So, I suggest we let go of our fixation with plantation slavery, the Harlem Renaissance, and the 60s. And I mean quickly. Drinking from a stagnant well will do little more than make us sickly. Let's celebrate more than just one segment. Perhaps the present. Learn from the past and show reverence. But then let our brilliance flow swiftly into a future that's not tied to torment. Like,
I was a 6th grader when I first fell in love with Jada Pinkett, or should I say Peaches. You know, it's a low down dirty shame. She was chasing after Keenan, then set it off with Latifah. In Jason's lyric, she gave black love new meaning. Even showed up on A Different World for a few seasons with Whitney and Dwayne. I know it's random, but this too is black history is all I'm saying. And then there was Deja, or Tyra Banks and Omar Epps in Higher Learning. Man, I owe John Singleton many thanks. He had me wanting to read more, run track, go to college, think about race, and well, marry Tyra Banks. I was a sophomore in high school, about to get expelled another time or two, yet Lawrence Fishburne was so cool, he had me feeling like being a professor was the thing to do. And I was in the 6th grade before I realized Jordy, Kunta Kinte, and that brother from Reading Rainbow were the same person. It's true. And when I watched The Wiz, I didn't even want Dorothy to go behind that curtain. I'd have told her to mind her biz, leave Richard Pryor alone, stop flirting. Get your dog, click your heels, and let that man finish working. Maybe it's just me, probably. See, I'm the type of cat that wanted Mr. T to whoop on Rocky. Don't let me put on a leather jacket. I'd have swore I was Shaft and Richard Roundtree. Sure enough, the younger me thought I was real tough, a bona fide Bruce Leroy. Right or wrong, them blaxploitation films brought me all kinds of joy. Unfortunately, losing Prince, Left Eye, Aaliyah, and Whitney had me feeling 50 Shades of Blue. I mean, ill. Like the Fugees without Lauryn Hill, Netflix with no chill, Six Flags with no thrills, a wedding with no frills, or even worse, a barbecue with no grills. You really want to know what's Black history to me? Stuff like when Nas had that beef with Jay-Z. Chappelle took off overseas the first 2 seasons of Boondocks, anything Morgan Freeman has ever said, and Michael Vick being freed. The list is not for everybody, I concede, maybe just my cup of tea, I agree, but hopefully my point was received. Our limited conceptions of Black History Month leaves me grieved. Why not let's have fun with it? Wouldn't that be okay? Expanding our perception is key. I wrote this listening to Janelle Monáe, or was it Stevie? I wonder. Now, it was Tony, followed by Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield, and Donny Hathaway. Oh, and the OJs, in that order.
Now, I'm gonna drop these last few names and go because they're important to the Black radical tradition because most Februarys they come up missing. But I promise I'll go slow. So you've heard of Marcus Garvey getting out of prison, Frantz Fanon, Sidney Poitier, and Miles Davis, I'm guessing. Jimi Hendrix, Bobby Seale, Cornel West, and Sean King. But what about Octavia Butler, Saidiya Hartman, Erica Edwards, and Hazel Carvin? Alice Walker, Audre Lorde, Nora Bessie Phillip, and Carrie Keeling. Oh, being Black is a wonderful feeling. We stay swinging for the fences like Denzel and Viola. So with each year I get older, I'll be on my same coffin, looking
back and then forward. Meanwhile, Venus and Serena keep getting colder and might just make you a believer in Black excellence, like Usain Bolt, Steph Curry, and Derek Jeter. Now, the list can go on and on and on and on, like Miss Erykah Badu rolling around in the mud singing her favorite song. Now, maybe none of these Black folk mean anything to you or give you a sense that you belong. But somebody does.
And you do. Was it your mother, brother, friend, cousin, uncle, auntie? Was it your father, teacher, co-worker, or a mentor probably? And what about you? Whose life did you impact while being Black and refusing not to crack? In fact, I got a better question. Who helped bring you to wholeness and let go of lack? Reject shame and embrace Blackness with both your individual and collective identities intact?
I could think of a few, but I'm gonna end here and humbly submit this poem for your review. Put simply, we are Black history. So let's not just be mindful of what we've done, but what we do.